This question really presents a natural follow-up from Matthew Ticciati, a student at Maharishi University of Management, USA. I should introduce Maharishi University of Management as an award-winning university in the United States, accredited at the doctoral level by the North Central Association of Colleges and Schools. This is an outstanding educational institution by any conventional standard, highest in faculty research productivity, highest in per capita grant support in the state of Iowa, USA. But beyond these standard measures of success, Maharishi University of Management is unique in the world at providing the curriculum innovations from Maharishi's Vedic science and Vedic education that develop the total brain. And by developing the total brain and expanding human comprehension, by aligning thoughts and behavior with natural law, delivering the fruit of all knowledge, a life free from mistakes and problems where students know how to effectively fulfill their own aspirations while simultaneously promoting the interests of society as a whole. A student at MUM asks, Maharishi, you have said that the purpose of student life is enlightenment. Is there a value then to studying physics or engineering or art or music? Or should a student just focus fully on gaining enlightenment by studying Maharishi's Vedic science of consciousness?
Application of this knowledge of consciousness has to be in every field of life. We have 5 senses of perception, 5 of action. In all these 10 areas, the knowledge has to be gained in such a manner that spontaneously knowledge is implied. Spontaneously knowledge is implied, knowledge is applied in the field of action. So that every action, no matter what, every action is first free from mistakes, and second, always in the evolutionary direction, always in the direction of progress, always in the evolutionary direction. Student life is just for gaining that supreme level of awakening, that supreme knowledge of the ultimate reality, which is consciousness, the field of consciousness, self-consciousness, self-consciousness. The question is very, very pertinent. I congratulate the student who has asked this question. And you are right when you say, when the knowledge of the sap is good enough to improve the leaves, to improve the flowers, to improve the fruits, and improve everything, why waste time on studying the leaf and the flower and the fruit? It's absolutely, that is the situation. But because it has been for hundreds of years that the science has been probing into the experimental thing, you try out, and if you see like that, science, the big humbug about the science, but then it has gone into the deeper values, but science as science has to be a science of consciousness. And in that science of consciousness, there are 2 things, as in every case. Understanding, intellectual understanding, and experience of consciousness. Experience and understanding, both things. So understanding we get from the Vedic literature. All the record is there. Just as the theories of different physical sciences are recorded Someone has written this book of this theory, chemistry, this physics, this. All the record is there. But the variety of expressions of life is so much, infinite values, but all of them emerged from one field, unified field, from one field. Therefore, all emphasis should be in knowing that one field, in knowing that one field. But because the custodians of curriculum in the schools, colleges and all, they are all the people who have learned from the experimental evidence, and they say science, science, science. But experimental evidence today does not efface the importance of the experimental evidence of yesterday and previous week and previous month and previous years. Like that, infinite numbers of previous years. The total record of intelligence, the total record of consciousness is the Vedic text. The Vedic text is the total record of experimental science and technology. It's no exaggeration when I am saying that everything is possible through the knowledge of consciousness as it is ordained or expressed, as it is expressed in the Vedic literature, as it is expressed in the Vedic literature. Very complete field of knowledge, and it's a great loss to every generation if this knowledge remains uncovered. That phrase, no? There is nothing under the sun, nothing new under the sun, they say. There's nothing new under the sun. So it is really, the answer of your question is, it's really a waste of precious life for the students, or for parents, for the government, for everyone, to not go deep into the field of consciousness, science and technology of consciousness, capability of achieving anything from the knowledge of the self. That is why throughout the ages, all the wise men have said, know thyself. Know thyself is not a new voice. It's a very old voice, echoing throughout the corridor of time. Know thyself. Because self is the self of every knowledge, the self of every technology. It's the self, it's the self. But the day will come. Now the global country of world peace, under the greatest scientist of our generation, His Majesty Rajaram now, under his guidance, that system of education is being promoted. A university of world peace is being floated now. University of World Peace. University of World Peace will provide total knowledge of natural law, because there is no peace if life is under mistakes, if life is in suffering. There is no there is no life if life is suffering. Under this new regime of administration of the global country of world peace, education is going to be consciousness-based education. Consciousness-based education. The rest is absolutely rubbish and waste of life. I don't have to be that strong in words, but that is the situation. Waste of precious life. When you can nourish all the thousands of leaves and flowers and fruits in a tree by just a bucketful water at the root, you handle the root, and then that is the technique for handling the well-being and progress and evolution of everything in the tree. Consciousness. If education is not based on consciousness, if the education doesn't give the science and technology of consciousness, that education and those promoters of education are simply rubbish, that's all. It's not exaggeration, it's the actuality that I'm describing, it's rubbish. Such a precious life. Such a precious life that you can materialize the thought at its source. You can make things be undertaken by total natural law, infinite power of total natural law, when you can be educated and trained to handle total natural law, to handle this little electron or this thing, the waste of life, simple waste of life. So that is the answer, huh?